Welcome back to Cheddar's News Wrap. Progressives have been agitating for student loan cancellation for quite some time, and they see a real chance now that a Democrat occupies the White House. Senator Elizabeth Warren and other Democrats have pushed President Biden to cancel $50,000 of student loan debt via executive order. The legality is, however, its own question, but some recent data does support that exact case. New numbers from the Department of Education show that if $50,000 of student debt were canceled per person, 36 million borrowers, or about 80% of all borrowers, would have their student debt eliminated. I sat down one-on-one with Senator Warren to discuss this and much more on the issue facing millions of Americans.
So the law is pretty clear that the federal government can lend the money, and it can also modify or change the terms of the loan, and that includes forgiving those loans. And you know how I know that presidents can do that? Because they have done it. President Obama canceled student loan debt for about 70,000 people. President Trump canceled all of the accumulating interest for about 40 million people. And right now, President Biden is canceling accumulated interest on loan debts to the tune of about $5 billion a month. So we've got three presidents in a row that have used this legal authority. There's nothing in it that describes how high you can go. So my view on this is let's do $50,000 of debt cancellation. That's what Senator Schumer and I are pushing for, because it would make a huge difference in the lives of so many people across this country.
Have you spoken with Secretary Cardona or President Joe Biden about this personally?
So I have spoken with them. I don't want to say more about the details about private conversations, but you wouldn't be surprised about my end of the conversation. It's to talk about how they do have the authority to do it and why it is so important to do it. You know, if we canceled $50,000 of student loan debt right now, if Joe Biden would do that, two things would happen immediately. About 84% of all the people who have student loan debt would be completely debt-free. And we would be able to close the black-white wealth gap for borrowers by about 25 points, and for Latinos by 27 points. This would just be historic for the people involved and also for our economy overall.
Senator Warren, we're talking more than 44 million borrowers in this United States, totaling more than $1.7 trillion worth of outstanding debt. These are staggering numbers. If Secretary Cardona comes back to President Biden and says, regardless of what Senator Warren is saying, you can't go as high as $50,000, if Congress, therefore, is forced to act, Senator Warren, you know the majority your caucus has in both chambers, quite frankly, is very slim. How are you possibly hoping to make any progress in the 117th Congress on this issue if you need to?
Well, look, you've layered a lot of hypotheticals here, but I just like to remind everyone, canceling student loan debt is popular. People want to see us get this done. People with student loan debt want to see us get this done. And here's the thing, people who don't have student loan debt want to see us get this done. Why? Because it's good for the economy overall. Even before the pandemic, we could see that student loan debt was causing people not to buy homes, was causing people not to start small businesses, was causing people not to start families. It was a drag on our whole economy. And look at where we're headed. Student loan debt payments have been suspended for now, but come the end of this September, they're going to explode. And that's going to mean roughly, on average, about $400 per debtor that they've got to put back into the government, not into their local economy, not into local restaurants and local retailers, not into buying all that back to school stuff for the kids. And that's not good for the economy overall. So to me, this really shouldn't be a partisan issue. It's something about how you make the economy work better and how we treat people fairly, whose only sin was to try to get a better education.
Now let's talk about this hearing on Tuesday. You told the Navient CEO, John Raimondi, and I quote, "I understand you're here to talk about the good things, but you have been sued repeatedly." You told him, quite frankly, Navient should fire you. This company, among other accusation centers, you well know, deceived borrowers by essentially steering them towards forbearance for other reasons, including the fact that basically to boost the company's bottom line here. Would you like to see Attorney General Merrick Garland and the DOJ perhaps even get involved to try and crack down on Navient? What should happen here?
Look, I would be very glad to see more investigation. I'd like more accountability. I think the fact that the Department of Education, even after every scandal, turns right around and gives Navient more loan business, I think that's just fundamentally wrong. But understand this. We could do away with a lot of this problem if we just cancel a big hunk of student loan debt. Then we wouldn't have these middlemen who are in there making hundreds of millions of dollars to do what? To get people into the wrong programs, to wring more money out of people, to get people off the phone as quickly as possible rather than giving them the help they needed. It's time to put a stop to this. This whole system is broken. And the best way to do that, shovel out a bunch of this debt, bring this system down to a much smaller size, and then we can work on the details about how to get it right.